What should I plant now, folks, hey? Have a look at this. How are we going, everyone? I've got some more seedlings that have come in. We're sending these down to the store in Coburg. And this is the plugger plant. This is what I'm talking about. Look at these. I've got some leeks here. Now, admittedly, these are overgrown leeks. These never made it to the veggie garden or planted out in the field. My apologies, I just dropped one. But I'm popping these in the ground because leeks take a good 9 months to grow, at least, to get them decently. So these are really, really ready to go out into the garden bed. So I've got a heap of leeks to plant. I've got some spring onions. Actually, I need to plant some spring onions because I didn't plant any since I dug them all out. Now, we've got them in clusters, and I'll show you how to separate these. You can't just pull them apart like that or like that because you will tear them, you'll damage them. So how many we've got there? Look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Just one plug is enough. Anyway, we'll do the spring onions and leeks, and let's go and check out how our veggies are going because we planted that a few days ago. See if they're still there. Well, I haven't watered here for a couple of days, and it hasn't rained. It's moist underneath. See, they've popped up. You can see how they're popping up now. These are the little seedlings that we separated from the punnet, and by separating, we've torn the roots a little bit. So they take a while to wake up, and these have just started to wake up. And over there are the larger ones still. You see the one leaf upright? That's fine. It doesn't mean it's going backwards. It's actually growing. So now that's the actual punnet. Now these are the plugs that we speak about, folks. I'm trying to educate everybody. This is the way you want to go. Now you can get them from your local garden centre. They come in punnets already, but in our case here you can buy one at a time. They're only about 80 cents each, something like that. Six for $4.80 I think is what they sell them for at the garden centre, or I think it's 15 for 10. Please don't hold me to that, I might be wrong, but anyway, something like that. And you can just simply take them out and pop them straight in the ground. Now you have an assortment to choose from. And this is what we planted, I think about 4 days ago. These are our plug versions. Shall I? What do you reckon? Shall I take one out and see if it's taken? All right, won't hurt. Which one? Really, in 3 days, how much growth can you possibly see in a plant? Look at that. Okay? That's how it looks like before you put it in the ground. Look at that. That's already growing through. That's not me teasing. So folks, in 3 days or 4 days, that's already grown. Just pop it back in carefully, cover it, press it down. So I'm not going to pull the rest out. Maybe we should pull out one of the other ones. No, because we already disturbed the roots on those. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is separate the spring onions. All right, so I've got a bucket of water. Just soak it in the water. Have a look. Just shaking it around a little bit to loosen up the soil and the roots inside. Now it needs to be done carefully. You can't just tear these apart. And these are slightly different from your typical punnets because the punnet's a lot larger, whereas these, being in a small cell, a plug, need a bit more care. You can get underneath it as well, but they're well rooted in there. Okay, and this is why you need to be careful, because if you tear the roots, we say it before, you know, I've said it 100 times, the more damage you cause to the plant, the longer it takes to recover. Yes, they're forgiving, and most times they recover pretty well, but it's better to separate them than plant them all in clumps. And at the end of the day, you can probably just plant them in a clump, right? Won't make a huge difference, but these are super. Yeah, here we go, underwater. That's the way. Here we go, see this? Look at that, magic. Underwater, shake, shake. Water gets into the corners and the pockets, the air pockets. Separate, separate. This is one plug, folks. One plug of spring onions for 80 cents. And look what you get. Now, I was on radio this morning. You're watching this the day after, obviously. They rang me up to ask me on 3AW how hard or easy it is to grow lettuce. There's a shortage, a crisis with lettuce. And I was talking to the growers who do the seedlings here. And the biggest problem they have is not the fact that they haven't got lettuce, is they haven't got pickers. They haven't got anybody, labourers. They won't transport that easily across. No one's unstocking or restocking the shelves properly because everyone's down on staff for the obvious reasons. I'm not going to go through those details. So the product's out there. It's not a short supply. It's not the rain. I mean, even though that has contributed to some of the losses and increases in prices, but to hit those sort of numbers, it's ridiculous. 80 cents. and you've got what, about a dozen little spring onions in here, and it's not for the one pick only. You can cut these down as they grow and let them sprout up again. You'll get 3 or 4 harvests at least from these. Let one go to seed and you'll have 10,000 spring onions growing up everywhere. Where are they? I've taken them out. I haven't separated them. They're here. Look, I just buried them because there's so many of them growing like that. I haven't bothered with them, and actually the ones that I did take out I gave to my daughter. She took them back to her place to plant with her hubby. So that's what we do, we give and share and feed each other with them. So that's how you do your spring onions, nice and clean, nice healthy roots, all grown naturally. And now we're going to pop them into the garden. Now I'm planting them one by one, folks, but you can grow them in a bunch, and a lot of people do grow them in bunches. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just a little bit weird in that way. I like to spend a lot of time in the garden, sort of away from humans. I didn't mean that. Or did I? What you can do is just lie them down like this, open a little trench, a little furrow, and then just lie them down one by one, separate them evenly like that. See that there? I'll just finish one more here, like that. Push it down carefully. Then you push the soil over the top like that. See there? And then you get from underneath and you push back up. All right? And that's how you get your little group of spring onions or row of spring onions and not killing yourself trying to plant them one by one. And this garden bed here, folks, I had this already prepared with our superfood and cocoa pith. If you haven't seen me do that, you can look it up in our previous videos that we've done. Look up, preparing a garden bed, things like that, and you'll see how I prepare my beds. I avoid digging them over too much or deep, to avoid disturbing all the microbes in the soil that are busy working away. Here I'm planting the leeks now. You can see just loosening up a little bit of the soil and just pushing it around. You don't have to tease the roots out, but see, they're growing straight down. They're not getting tangled up with all these other plants. And you saw how I separated the spring onions, so that worked really well. And now we've got the leeks in there. Now we're going this way because prices are going up all the time, and we're trying to work out a nice, simple way, inexpensive way with quality seedlings. Some of these are actually certified seeds as well that we've got here coming in as seedlings already. You can find these at our garden centre in Coburg. As a click and collect only, we're not going to be shipping out our seedling plugs because it's just the logistics of that is really difficult to get our heads around without causing damages. So unfortunately at the moment we only have our Coburg store that's supplying this, so you can pop down there and pick them. Closed Monday, Tuesdays, open Wednesday to Sundays. Have to put it out there because we're getting a lot of emails, people asking about it. So the details are Wednesday to Sundays, plug a plant available, 6 for $4.80 I think it is, or 15 plugs for $10. It's a lot cheaper than anywhere else, but you can, if you can't get out there, you can still buy the punnets, the single cell punnets available at all good garden centres. So pop down there, support them, plant your own. This is the message, start growing your own vegetables. I said it on radio, I'll be talking about it again this coming weekend when I'm doing 3RW. It's all about growing your own, and if you want to know where it comes from, you're only going to know when it comes out of your own backyard. Don't expect anybody to tell you the 100% truth of how they've grown it. Even the organic growers, they got to buy their seed and seedlings from somewhere if they don't create their own. And we can't guarantee where they've been grown prior to that. You can only take the word of the grower himself, and the only word you got to take is your own. So take my word, if you grow your own, you know where it's coming from. Our plug and plant are available, as is everything, because it's end of financial year sale. Everything's discounted, folks. Vasili'sGarden.com. Check it all out. Seeds are going out the door, flying out the door. Get yours before they disappear. From me, Vasili, Maresi.